Okay, so different video today. We have a special guest here. We got my good friend here, model, pageant winner, Emily, and she's gonna help you guys today with how to DM girls on Instagram. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get into this. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see guys making when DMing girls on Instagram? Like, what are some of the biggest turnoffs? Because I've seen some of the DMs that you've gotten, and you've gotten some very interesting ones, to say the least, some very weird ones at that. So yeah, what are some of the biggest turnoffs, some of the biggest mistakes that you see guys making that make you just instantly delete that DM and not even pay attention?
Cringy, like pickup lines.
It's just cheesy.
It's I feel like something that you wouldn't really do in person.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of think about, like, would it work in person? Maybe, I guess on social media it's a little bit different because most people, they can be a little bit more bold.
So what's your reaction when guys open up with a comment based on your appearance? Like, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're hot, maybe something about your body, like just something that's looks based. Like, how does that make you respond? Does it make you respond at all, or does it make you delete it right away? And what do you think most girls think about that?
If they start off with a comment of like, my body, it definitely makes me uncomfortable. I don't even think I look at the profile. I just probably delete it. Yeah. If a guy just swipes up and say like, oh, you look so hot, it's not something that makes me want to open your DM, to be so honest. It just seems very like shallow. Like, obviously you're looking at my stories and maybe you think I'm beautiful, but it's like, okay, stand out. Like, what can you say for me to want to open that DM?
Okay. So along those lines, then, what do you think a guy should say? Do you think he should try to start a casual conversation, or just comment on something maybe in your story? Or, what is the alternative then if it's to not comment on your looks or your appearance?
I definitely think it's hard to find like a perfect timing, because you could sit there for weeks until that girl posted something else other than a selfie. So if you can get that moment where she posts something that she's out with her friends or a certain hobby that she's doing, swipe up and say that. Immediately gonna be at the top of her DM and gonna be probably one of the first that she opens, rather than those hard eyes, or you're so hot, or you're beautiful. Like, those guys are gonna get lost and immediately, like, they're gonna get deleted.
Okay, so I heard you mention that they should swipe up, like when she's out with her girls or doing something like that. So the next question I was going to ask you is, do you think guys should just DM a girl outright, or wait to reply to a story specifically? Like, what do you think is going to grab her attention more? The story?
Yeah, definitely wait for a story. Get that opportunity to swipe up, even at a restaurant. Like, you see her post even a plate, and it maybe sounds silly, like, why, what she's going to think, like, oh, like, what kind of person is gonna swipe up on my food? But no, you can like start up a conversation just off of the plate that she's ordering or that she posted.
Okay, so like, using that as an example, what is something that like a positive like comment or gesture that a guy can make on your story that would catch your attention and make you want to reply over somebody else? Like, what is something that they can do to stand out specifically?
I guess comment on, like, maybe if I have like a song, like if I have a certain song, like maybe that artist, something you could, like a fact of something like,
okay, so
about
something
them.
like relatable.
Yeah, like something relatable. You can say like, I've gone to one of their concerts, and like, or they're coming here next month. Like, are you going?
Right. Okay. That leads me to another question here. I know some guys will, the whole like back and forth game that goes on Instagram. Guys might like a couple of your photos, kind of wait, maybe see if you message. If you don't, they wait for you to maybe like a couple back. You got this like tag going on back and forth. Do you ever DM guys first when they like your photos?
No. I've never.
Okay. Do you know any girls at all that do, or is it pretty standard for most women to just not DM first after you like their photos, or after they like your photos?
No, I honestly don't know any girls in my circle that have ever like DM'd a guy first, personally, because obviously girls don't want to get rejected. And they're just kind of like, leave it up to the guys, We'll kind of respond back. We'll kind of like, if we're interested, most girls will like a couple pictures back. And that's kind of giving your like confirmation, like, okay, I can send her a DM. You have to pick those like hints up.
Okay, so it's worth. I was gonna ask next, is it even worth sending those likes? But it can be to kind of give the guy the green light, right? Yeah. It's kind of like saying, hey, I'm interested in you, and then if she gives the green light back. So when a guy DMs you, how many messages should he send? Should he just send one and just wait, or should he come back later and follow up with it if you don't reply, or if a girl doesn't reply to him? How many should he send? How long should he wait before sending another one, if at all?
If you've tried the liking method and you swiped up on her food or like a concert she was at, max 2. So pick those 2 good ones, and after that, she's not interested. Go on to the next one. There's a lot of fish in the sea.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I was gonna say I'm more of a one and done. Like, cause I know you guys see your DM. You be acting like you don't see it, but I know you see it.
Stand out. You gotta stand out.
I know you see it. So okay, so let's talk about the other side of the coin on Instagram. What should guys be posting on their story, on their feed, their profile picture, their story highlights? Like, what are you looking for that makes you go, oh, that guy's attractive, or that guy's not a creep? You know what I mean? If a guy DMs you, what makes you want to reply in terms of what they're showing?
Doing like a hobby. Like if you have a hobby, you just look more interesting. Or even if you like work out, don't take those like, wait, I'm off. I'm telling you what not to do. Hold on. Okay.
Careful what you say about workout stuff, because you know your boy be in the gym. You know what I mean? So careful now.
I got some opinions on those.
All right, let it go.
Definitely photos with your family and friends. Social media gives you the opportunity to, you know, a little get to know me. So it's like, okay, show me those pictures that you're out having fun. Don't post like drinking all the time. Project what you want to like see in your future partner.
Yeah, I always say it's kind of like it's like a digital passport in a way. It's like a digital resume. Like the way you craft your Instagram really shows people how you are, or you can do that. You know, some guys, you know, you see this trend where people have like 0 posts.
Right.
You know, they do like 0 posts and like some blurry like profile picture or whatever.
I have a comment on that. There's some girls that I've seen like on Twitter and say like, oh yeah, like I like a guy that has no profile picture, like no post. Ma'am, I mean, ma'am, if we're being really honest, why would you want a guy with nothing to see, like nothing to go off of, not a profile picture, no tags, no highlights, nothing, just his name? Like, who are you? Like, how is that supposed to make me interested?
Yeah, I understand the aesthetic of not posting. It makes you look more mysterious and exclusive, but I think that applies more to like famous people. Like if you're a rapper or something, like guys like Playboy Cardi and stuff will do things like that. But if you're just a normal guy, I think it's just doing you a disservice, because your profile gives you an opportunity to show who you are. You can show attractive things on there. You can show that you have good style, good body, cool hobbies, a fun lifestyle. So if you're not posting anything and you're trying to look mysterious, I think you're just hurting yourself.
Definitely.
Okay, so you started to mention like what not to post. So what are some red flags on a guy's profile that turns you off?
Multiple shirtless pictures and a lot of selfies on your feed. And it's gonna be kind of like biased, because it's like, okay, well, like you're a girl and you probably take so many pictures and have so many selfies, and like trust, like I understand it could be annoying. Like I'm like, okay, I posted a selfie and I'm like, okay, maybe that was too much, or I've posted like 3 like in the last 5 days.
Damn, you really be on there, huh?
And it's like, tell me more about you. Like, I guess I like to see that you're confident, but it's like, are you really? Like, how much does just a selfie or a shirtless picture really tell me about you?
So just less selfies, less like douchey type pictures like that, less like shirtless selfies and things like that, and just more interesting pics, like maybe doing hobbies, hanging out with people, family, friends, and just pictures taken by other people to show that you actually have friends. So you mentioned story highlights earlier. Do you ever go through a guy's story highlights? Do you ever do some investigative work on his story highlights? And if so, what are some things that you find attractive, and what are some things that you find unattractive in the story highlights? Like, what are some things that'll make you go through and go, nope, I'm not hitting this guy back?
Yeah, definitely. That's like the first thing I do. Look at the highlights.
First thing? Okay.
Like first thing.
All right,
like,
take note, guys. First thing the girls are doing are going through your story highlights.
Definitely.
So leverage them to your advantage and make sure you don't keep anything whack in there. So.
Okay, what I would like to see, I feel like I'm kind of going back and forth on like your hobbies and your family. I feel like on your stories, it's like one of those things where it's like, it was good but not good enough to post on your feed, and you still want people to know a concert, and they record multiple like videos and they're singing in the background. You know, it kind of talks a little bit about you, and you're just like, okay, I don't want to post it on my feed, but it's like a fun thing to have on your highlight.
Yeah, I always view stories as a way to like kind of show the more like behind the scenes of your life, the more raw, authentic stuff. Yeah. And I think something that's really underrated is guys like actually talking to the camera. Like no one actually ever talks on their story. Everyone always just is kind of like, you never really get to see their personality. But people that show their personality, I think that gives them an advantage, because you can actually get insight into what it's like to be around them and talk talk to them. So going back to the actual DM now, and the reason I brought up some of that stuff about the profile is that it all ties together. Like you can send DMs on Instagram, but if your profile is terrible, or if you're presenting yourself in a bad light, your DM might fail when it could have succeeded if you had a good profile. So even though this video is mainly about DMing girls on Instagram, it all ties together. So with that considered, like what are some ways that a guy can go from starting a casual conversation with you to showing intent for, to show that they want this to be more than just friends and not just some friendly conversation? And should a guy show intent off the bat, or should he slowly ease into it?
What you can do, like kind of like when I mentioned, like when you swiped up on the concert video or like on that plate or that restaurant, no more than like 5 messages exchanged about that topic, because to be honest, how long can you keep a conversation about that restaurant?
Right. That's a good point.
If you know what you want, like immediately, if a guy knows what he wants and he's super confident and is straight to like, you know what, I think you're really pretty, like I would like to get to know you, like, even if it was at restaurant, now let's experience it together, let's go out together, like latch onto whatever you were talking about previously. Definitely go straight to the point. Like, why kill time? Because the more messages you're sending back and forth, the more days pass by, more DMs are coming up. You're gonna be at the bottom.
That's an interesting point that I think a lot of guys need to know about, is that the longer you wait to show intent, your inbox is continuously building up DMs. It's not like being a dude where the DMs, they come in here and there from women, but as a girl, it's coming in like the mail. Like it's like a post office. That mail's just rolling in. Okay, so basically within 5 messages, they should show some kind of intent to escalate this to a date, right? They should show some type of intent that we're not just gonna be pen pals, we're not just friends here on Instagram, we're gonna escalate this to a date.
Yeah, we all know, like you swiped up for a reason. Tell us that reason now. Like how long till you take me out, or how long until you initiate, hey, like when are you free? We're almost like putting you like on a time crunch. We're like, all right, like how long is it gonna take for this guy to take me out? Maybe the small talk was good enough to keep you a few more days than the rest of the guys, but even then, if I was one of the guys, I would not waste any time if you have high interest in that girl.
Okay, so what is a way then that guys can tell the difference between a girl that's just talking to them kind of just for their attention versus a girl who actually wants to go out? Like how would you recommend guys filter that out? Should they filter it out just by simply getting to the point and asking for that date right away, or are there other signs and signals that they can look for that lets them know that this girl isn't really serious and she's just kind of engaging for attention?
Definitely how long the girl responds.
Okay.
I know some people like to play the wait a little longer, don't look desperate or whatever, but with social media, everyone has their phone in their hand and is always checking social media or anything on their phone, to be honest. So I know they see that notification, they see your text. So if that girl takes, I don't know, more than 2 hours, because people are busy, so you have to also keep that in mind.
So that's something too that I always say, that if a girl takes 2 days to respond to you, like, bro, she's not.
Take the hint.
Yeah, just leave. Like, on to the next one. Like, it's very clear. Girls always got their phone around. They're always checking for the guy that they're interested in.
But hey, some girls, there's some, and not all.
Don't cap on my channel.
Listen, some girls, no, they like to play that little like hard to get, which respect, because like nothing's easy out here, so and it's not even the case of like hard to get, it's more of like maybe you didn't stick out to me that much that made me feel like I'll answer later. I mean, if you're the type of person like, why not? She's so beautiful. I would regret if I didn't. Then do it. What's the worst that can happen? She says no. Okay.
Right. That's the biggest point there with like approaching a girl in person, DM, whatever. The worst that's gonna happen is she just says no.
Yeah.
And there's so many women in the world. Like I literally did a video where I said that you could fill the LA Coliseum 13,000 times with how many women there are between ages 20 and 40. That's almost 3 billion women. So when you're focused on one that much, it's like, come on, bro. Like there's more. Okay, so, and one more question. Those guys that leave heart eyes in the comments and kissy face emojis and all that stuff, do those guys ever get any attention from the girl that they're leaving comments to? If a guy leaves you a heart eyes comment on a photo that you post on your feed, or says so beautiful and things like that, are you ever talking to that guy? Are you ever gonna give that guy a chance, or is he pretty much just in the discard pile right away?
Absolutely not. I'm literally deleting the comment and unfollowing or removing you.
Yo, there's a saying that the guy that's hitting it isn't even in her comments. Sometimes he's not even following.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Because come on, like you're in my comments and I don't even know you. Like I'm gonna look at the 5 women that you follow, and your comment is gonna be under there. No, thank you. I'm not even.
So guys, if you're the hard eyes guy on Instagram, if you're the one leaving roses and hearts and kissy faces,
don't do it.
Please stop.
Don't.
You gotta stop. We gotta save these guys. We gotta save them. Save a simp 2023. You know, we gotta save them. So anything else you want to add? Anything else anybody should know?
I don't think most people do this, but I've actually had a couple times where guys actually call me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you answer?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. I thought you were gonna present that as a tip to like call a girl outright. I was gonna be like, hold up.
No.
I don't know about this one.
Please don't. Do not call.
Okay.
First of all,
no calls.
No, just
I wouldn't even think to do that anyway. That's who's calling you?
You would think that these people would not call. But if I don't answer your hi or hello or a swipe up hard eyes, what makes you think I'm gonna answer your phone call? First of all, why does Instagram allow that?
If a guy just simply reacts to your story, do you ever reply like one of the emojis? Like if he puts like a flame emoji or the hard eyes or something like that on the story, or is that equivalent to like leaving a comment on the feed? I can already see your face is like disgusted by this, so I'm gonna take that as a no. So because guys will do this sometimes, they just send like a flame emoji or hard eyes or something, thinking that the girl is gonna reply instead of actually sending a message. What do you think about that?
It makes me hot. Like
hot in a good way or hot in a bad way?
No, bad.
Okay.
That is so low effort. Like if you already thought that you were gonna be at the bottom, you're gonna be lower than the bottom if you're just swiping up
Sending
and just
reactions.
A reaction. Like Instagram made it so much easy for you guys. Like you don't even have to swipe up and put your emoji. Like you just like which one. They have like 10 of you to pick from. And even by knowing that, I'm like, dang, this guy put no effort whatsoever. Like he couldn't even type it himself. Like he had to just put a reaction. Like immediately
oh,
no.
Man. So it makes him look like kind of a pansy then, huh?
You would be surprised, but there's so many guys that just swipe up and put like a reaction, and
that's what I mean. Yeah, the guys do this, and
yeah.
I'm like, you're wasting.
You know, the worst part is that they call me out. They're like, you know, you're not gonna say anything. Like I complimented you as if I'm rude, right? First of all, I don't have to respond. Oh, I actually have a note on that. If a girl, like say you swipe up and you say something and she says thank you, I've actually had that happen.
Oh no, the dreaded thank you. Oh,
she says,
I'm out if a girl says thank you.
No, okay, but listen, there's a difference between just hearting the story and actually like taking the time to say thank you. So I've had guys take that opportunity and say, okay, she texted back. You know what I mean? She responded. Right. So they kind of latch onto that and they're like, okay, how are you? Or like, where are you from? You know, guys take that opportunity and I give them props for that because it's like, you know, they could have just left it at, oh, she said thank you, let me just heart that back. Or let me just say you're welcome. Don't say you're welcome. Take that opportunity.
So if a girl says thank you, you think guys should build off of that and continue to push anyway. They shouldn't take it as like a low interest type of response, because she's not really expanding the conversation herself. It's just she kind of just made it dry, honestly. But you think guys should push on anyway.
I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. She's texting back. She's not giving you just a little heart reaction. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know a couple of friends where has worked for them. You know, like they've replied thank you and the guy kind of like goes, okay, she texted back. You know, kind of having that in the back of your head, like, okay, she responded. It wasn't just a heart. You know, it's like, can I work with this type of thing? And that's for you to decide, like, okay, now how can I keep this conversation? How can I start this conversation? Because in reality, we don't want to start it. You swipe up and you say, okay, you're beautiful, or I like this, or like I've been there, or whatever. And we're like, okay, thank you, like, cool. We're not going to be like, oh my God, you think I'm pretty? Thank you so much. Like, you're the sweetest guy ever. What do you expect us to say after thank you? Or what would a guy want us to say when they say, oh my God, you're so beautiful?
So pretty much is like a final checklist. Have some stuff on your profile that shows that you're interesting, shows you clearly, not just a bunch of blurry garbage photos. Like, you know, we have to actually see.
Or if you have pets, Put your pets. Girls will fall for that.
Okay. So we're going with the dog pictures, the cat pictures, the bunny pictures, everything. From there, have some story highlights because you're gonna go through them. Just make sure they're good story highlights, not stupid stuff, embarrassing things, or unattractive things.
Yeah.
If you're gonna start a conversation with a girl, you're best to swipe up on one of her stories and not do one of the emoji reactions, but instead say something to her to spark a casual conversation, but then show intent within 5 messages or less to move the conversation along, to show that this is man to woman and you actually want to go out on a date or do something. And it'll also show initiative as a guy, to be a guy leading the interaction and show some masculinity, and that you're a take charge guy and not just being a pen pal and gonna ramble on. Because girls don't want to DM all day either. Like, who's got time for that? No one got time for that. If a girl doesn't reply, it's up to you. Maybe send another message, but no more than 2.
No more than 2.
I personally just, if she reads it, I'm moving on. That's my policy though. But maybe come back for another one.
My thing is, like, swipe up on one and then text. Like, don't swipe on 2. Like, if after the first one you swipe up and she doesn't respond, and if you want to give a little like text, like a little follow up, then okay, but don't after that second message. She don't want you.
She don't want you. Okay, and if she takes a long time to reply, like a day or 2, what would you say? The 12 hours, 6 hours? Like, what's a long time? When are we starting to get to that point where you're like, this girl is not interested?
I feel like a day sounds kind of long, just because, like we mentioned, they have their phone in their hand half the time.
Right.
So it's like 6 hours maybe.
Okay, so if she takes longer than 6 hours to reply, she probably is not feeling you. Move on.
Or you probably got lost in the inbox.
Or you got lost in the inbox. Maybe you're hitting up one of those girls that's got 200,000. That's another thing too, is like, be aware of the league that you're batting in too. Like, if you're a guy who's got 400 followers and you're hitting up a girl who's got 150,000, probably not getting a reply. So be aware of that too. Like, stay within a reasonable league to some degree. So, all right. Anyway, guys, if you want to see Emily back on the channel, maybe we can do something like some Instagram profile reviews. That might be fun. Review some guys' profiles, help them improve their profiles. She's got the female perspective. I'm a photographer. We kind of, we're like the Avengers together, right? So if you want to see her back on the channel, maybe something like that, profile reviews, leave a comment down below. But for now, make sure you watch this video next, and I will see you guys in the next one.